I'm old, so when I started playing video games, I used to go to the arcade. And there was this one game, Berserk, and you'd run around a maze, and you'd just fight these like sort of android stuff. Yeah, it's okay. And you'd fight these android guys, and if you didn't go near them, right, they would just remain still. When you'd get near them, the AI would trigger them to then start moving, and what that would do is it would make them notice you're there. A lot of games have this. A lot of early side scrollers or dungeon crawlers, maze type of games, where the assets don't activate until you get into a certain radius. I'm reminded of that all the time when I'm walking around. It's like there are people that just weren't doing anything. They were just there. And they only sort of come to life when I get in a certain radius of them. And much like the fucking robots in Berserk, they usually come right for me. And yeah, I know fucking whatever. I had different problems or whatever, diagnoses, but I don't think that changes what I'm experiencing, but maybe my perception of it. But I just, I'm reminded of that a lot walking over the store. Today there's some guy on the corner with all these bags and stuff, and he's not doing anything until I come by, and all of a sudden he's like animated and like wants to talk. This happens all the time. It's fucking weird. But that just it makes me think I'm not too far off about most of the people you see are just assets, really. They're assets. You still got to treat them the same, of course, but there ain't nothing happening in the heads of most people. I don't think there can be. This place originally was a testing area where you had learned lessons of some nature interpersonally. So it would make sense that there would be people here that aren't actually people, because that was part of the program of when this place was initially conceived, because it was a training ground for the progeny of the divine, in this case, whatever we are. So you'd have interactions to test out, I guess, your ability to learn, comprehend, understand, whatever it is. You'd be in this avatar, in this body, and you'd have to work out obstacles and situations with others, people that look like you. But not everyone could have divinity, because what kind of test would that be? So there has to be people that aren't actually real people. They're just assets. They look like people, they behave like people, but there's really nothing going on inside them. Now that would be a function of this place, because as it was originally designed, from what I understand and what's been theorized, this place was a school of some kind. So the idea that you would have people that aren't really people, they're just assets made to look like people, but they don't have the same divinity that you have, would be a function or a tool from the toolbox of the school that was and is this place. It remains. That tool set would remain. Like say you want someone to learn something about whatever, you have to have a interaction with people, but you can't have other students because they wouldn't know what to do. Like the lesson setup is, how do you help this person? Maybe something simple. Like, you see a older woman crossing the street, right? Do you help her? There's another person there that's trying to rob her. Whatever the scenario is, those people can't be real because they're made just for your scenario. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. But yeah, for a while I've been on the tip that a lot of these people that you see in the world aren't real like you are. They don't have divinity, they can't create. If you were to ask them to imagine something in their head, they have a very hard time doing it. They have no inner dialogue. Those kind of things. The classic NPC. As this area, this realm, this space, whatever you want to call it, was originally what I and some others believe was some kind of training area for for divine beings. It would stand to reason that we would need fake people here to facilitate these lessons. So if that tool exists, then it would be used now, of course, in the hijacked version of this area, because in my opinion, this place was hijacked by its caretakers, who were originally supposed to kind of like be headmasters of a school, if it indeed was a school. The headmaster became jealous of the students because they were basically the boss's kid, and they got very jealous of what they had. And they decided that we're going to flip the script here and suck the god juice off the boss's kid by weaponizing this entire place against them. But it remains that there would still be the tools for what that test originally was. So it almost, if you take that theory, or if you give that theory any weight, you would have to conclude, logically, that a lot of people that you're seeing are not people. They look like people. They have the shells of people, but they're not people. And that's how I believe you. That is one of the ways where I think you can see where you'll look at a situation like a horrible murder or something, or the way a person treats another person. How can they do that? That's inhumane. That's you'd never imagine doing that. I think that's why. That's why some people can do terrible things. That's why they can murder each other. And people are, no, that's just human nature. You have a demon inside. No, that's a bunch of horse shit. They want you to think that you're an animal. They want you to think that you have some terrible, heinous, everyone's got a killer inside. That's bullshit. That's a bunch of Talmudic bullshit. It's not true. It's not true. I would never murder a room full of anybody, So when you think like, well, how do these people do it? How do these people do these terrible things? Because they're not people. They don't have divinity. Or in some cases too, you have demonic possession, which is another thing, which is the one to get into, because you can't drive through me. You can if you want, but it's going to be fucking bad news for you. So, last night I was coming through here, and when you're in the presence of something that is, I don't know, supernatural or otherworldly, a lot of times you don't realize it until later. At least that's how it's been in my experience. Whenever I had run-ins with demonic entities or something like that. No, he's a very busy man. See what I mean? Some of these people can't be people. But go down here. This is a good escape from them. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to table that demon thing for now because I'm almost where I'm going. and the people out here now are a little bit nuttier than normal. I feel like there's some kind of low-level agitation going on. Sometimes you just feel it in the air. People kind of, or whatever these fucking things are out here that look like people. It's dangerous to say that kind of stuff, though, because then people, like, will use that against you to kind of add to your file that you're some sort of danger to society because you don't see people as the same as you. But whatever. If they want to do something to you, they can twist anything you do and say against you. The key is to not make yourself that valuable a target. Keep it low key. And don't blame the teacher, blame the school.